Greetings and welcome to episode 10 of Friendly Debates, the fortnightly debate driven top 5 or top 10 making list thing that we do every 2 weeks. I'm your host, Danny Alexander, and I'm joined this fortnight by Keith Robinson.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. It's Friendly Debates. We haven't done one of these for a little while because of many extenuating circumstances. It's not been on the regular. But it's back on the regular. Unless my house falls down. Then it might not be on the regular. We're doing a top 10 video to make up for all the videos we haven't done though. So there'll be more of it. It keeps being stoic and I'm just trying to read him. All I can read off of him is I can see myself in his glasses. This is Friendly Debates, where Keith and I sit down every 2 weeks, promise from now on, to make a top 5 list, or in this case, a top 10 list. The glasses have come off. It's fucking serious now. Screwed. He's shaved, he looks 10 years younger. And the glasses have come off, he's going to melt me with his Cyclops eye beams. It's all over. We're all over. So we make top 10 or top 5 lists by healthy debate and friendly discourse. And we just go back and forth. What we do is I make a list of things, he makes a list of things, then I put that list together, and then we start cutting things down until we reach the top 10 in this case. Normally it's the top 5. But like I said, sometimes we do special top 10 episodes. Once we reach the top 10, the rules change completely. But I'll fill you in on how that works when we get there. Keith, are you ready to rumble in a friendly capacity?
Why not?
Well, you get to go first every time, despite my better judgment.
Well, if despite your better judgment, maybe you should go first this time.
I'm good.
You're good, are you? Are you not going to read through all of the games that we have? Video publishers?
Video publishers.
Video
What
game
is this?
publishers.
The 90s? Are we on Blockbuster? We're doing top 10 video game developers. And if Keith was so concerned about me saying all of the right things, you'd think by now he would have written me something to say. These are... because it's a top 10. There's more. There's more than normal. Framing. Thumb. These are all of the game developers that we've come up with and mashed together into a list. Here's the list. For anyone listening and not watching, I'll read the list. It's Beautiful Glitch, BioWare, Blizzard Entertainment, Bungie, Capcom, Crystal Dynamics, From Software, Naughty Dog, Nintendo, EAD/EPD, there was a whole merger thing, Obsidian Entertainment, Owlcat Games, Piranha Games, Platinum Games, Respawn Entertainment, Supergiant Games, and that says Square Software. I've accidentally rubbed out half of the queue with my thumb. We're going to whittle this down into a list of 10, and then we're going to order that list, and then whoever is at the top of that list will be the champion. Like in Rocky. They'll have the eye of the tiger. Dan, 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 dan. Dan, dan, dan. Dan, dan, dan.
It's when Amy smacks into her own webcam and knocks onto the floor. That's what I was waiting for.
It's behind the shelf. I would have hit the shelf first. Strategically position webcam.
Yep, strategically positioned webcam. Yeah. So let's just go. How shall I put this? I'm gonna go a little weird here, and I'm gonna go for one of my own suggestions first. I don't know if it's one of the overlap months because by my own maths, there's 4 overlapping development.
Maths.
And I'm gonna go Bungie.
Out of that, I'm sorry, I'm looking up because I've got the notepad open with both of the things on that I arranged in alphabetical order so I can write it down. And Bungie, you say?
Yeah.
Interesting. Go ahead.
I'm playing mind games with you here.
I mean, I can tell.
So, when Amy pitched the idea of the publisher ones, I did give it the
Developers.
caveat of pardon?
Developers.
Yeah, games developers, sorry, not game publishers. That would be a much weirder one. Um, it was okay. So that's like he said, oh, the top 10 game developers. I'm like, okay, but I'm mostly going to be choosing this from games that they've actually produced, or like that they've made, not basically on any knowledge of the actual publisher developers. Damn it, this is going to be the hard one. So I was like, okay. So I made a list of like 16, and I started narrowing it down, and then I kind of started bringing in some of the stuff that we actually knew about the developers and stuff they've gotten up to. Now, I must admit, I did remove a couple, like, when I trimmed my list from game developers who are no longer with us. They closed. They may or may not have died. And I was looking at it, it's like, well, how can I like start it? Like, how am I gonna like begin this? And one of my first thoughts was, well, I'll go for one of my own ones because I know that Amy has all of the knowledge, all of the video game knowledge. So if I pick anything I put on my list, she will be able to come up with some sort of scandal or controversy or some sort of information about the the developers and what they've been up to. And I was thinking about this, and I thought, like, one of the ones I put on the list, I really like the early Halo games. Yeah, I did like one of the things left me list was 343. They were on this list at one point as well. And I was just like, well, like the Halo games, they were really cool. And then there's like, what else did they do? Destiny?
Yes. Besides proving that first-person shooters can actually exist on a video game console, what else did they do? What have you done for me lately, Bungie?
What have you done? Bungie, what have you done for me lately?
What have you done for me lately? Created the most popular like online loot shooter game? I say, pshaw.
Yeah, it's like they did like Halo, Halo Reach, and then they've got like the Destiny, and then they've got like some older games like Marathon 2 and Myth.
Yeah.
See, this is basically what I think some of my things are going to go with. I'm going to pitch something to be taken off the list, and then Amy's going to defend it. This is my cunning.
I've never played Marathon. I know as much about Marathon as you know about Marathon, and you should know some stuff about Marathon because all I know is from Red vs. Blue. That it exists and what it looks like.
There was a sequel. Yeah, but it's like, it's like I really liked their early games. Really liked some of their later games. However, they are kind of in that thing at the moment where it's the whole live service thing, and the last two games that they've really released, actual proper games as opposed to DLCs and stuff, has basically been sort of long on promise, shorter on content, and it is sort of very much that loot shooter thing where it's just like, oh, you can just go back and do this again, repeatedly, and you get a good experience for a couple of weeks, and then it just kind of drops off. And this is, I did think of putting one other developer up from your list first, which I thought would get me instantly killed by the people on the internet of just the insta hate. This is going to get me hate, but it's not going to be the instant hate.
No, it's cool to hate Bungie. Everyone just forgets about the whole Halo thing. No.
I am not forgetting that they were the first people that did, like, it's like a first-person shooter on a console, and it goes outside. You can, because of that original trailer where you see him, like, inside, and then he walked outside, and it was, like, mind-boggling at the time. I'm just saying, on this list, it is my first thing I put them up to get rid of, unless you're saying no. This is a friendly debate.
Problem, Keith. It was a friendly debate. Until you told me about all the mind games you plan on playing with me. And then you told me your entire plan. And now...
Am I though?
Because I could just be like, okay, and scratch it off. But I'm not. Because they made Halo 2. And Halo 3. And Halo Reach. Oh, I really like those games.
But we'll forget that one.
I really liked those games. I think we played them on a nightly basis for Halo Reach on a nightly basis for years.
Yeah, it was a way to keep in contact with you a lot, and it was awesome. And then you got that wonderful thing of me being killed by a drop pod.
That was you. Twice. Crash.
I'm just getting this few on cannon.
Legs were just sticking out. That's firefight. I can't wait for Reach to come out on backwards compatibility sometime in the year 2025 at this rate. So I can actually play it again. Like, it'll be always stream. Like, we won't have an issue trying to find a multiplayer, decide on a multiplayer game to stream, because we'll just be playing Firefight for forever. And you might think that was a tangent, but actually, that was part of my argument.
Yeah, I'm perfectly happy for Bungie to stay on the list.
I'm gonna go crazy by the end of this podcast. I know it. I can just feel it. I could just feel it. Keith! Piranha Games
moves ahead and you don't even know.
Piranha Games. They made Duke Nukem Forever. That's it. It's my entire argument.
My mind is melting. My mind is melting. Please, please, please. No. What?
They also made Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen. And
yeah,
I'm sure they're lovely, lovely people.
Yeah.
And I'm sure MechWarrior Online is a fine game, but
I didn't actually put them on here for making a video game.
Okay.
You've kind of hit a minefield, like the mine in this otherwise open, wonderful.
They made Duke Nukem Forever. How did you not think I was going to go here first?
I didn't realize they made Duke Nukem Forever.
Neither did I until I Wikipedia'd them. I knew exactly who you were, and I knew exactly what game they'd made. And then I Wikipedia'd them, and I was like, you know that Captain Kirk from the animated series GIF?
No.
That was me.
It's the double face palm of Riker.
I mean, again, lovely people, I'm sure, but you made Duke Nukem Forever, guys. I can't put you on a top 10 game developers list.
Yeah. So the reason I put it on here, as I've just said, is not for any video game they've produced. And you may fall asleep in this description, and you may want to move ahead a couple of minutes if you're watching this, and you don't want to have a lore dump about real world.
Okay.
That was me talking to any potential viewer. Don't worry. Right then. So we've touched before, briefly on the universe of BattleTech before, and BattleTech and MechWarrior are the same thing. MechWarrior is just the game's version of it. Now, Piranha did something really kind of weird when they made MechWarrior Online after they had it under their belt for a couple of years. They kind of had went for a lawsuit against a company which doesn't really exist. It's like just a shell which is used for various, because that company's name owns the rights to several things. And they kind of got the rights back to use certain mechs which had been unavailable for about 20 years in imagery and fiction and video games specifically. They did redesigns of all the different mechs. People loved them for that. And then Paradox Interactive decided to make a BattleTech game. And I went, hey, yeah, that's really cool. We love BattleTech / MechWarrior. Here's all of the designs that we've made for MechWarrior Online for free. Just have them. And then the people who made the books and stuff are thinking, oh, we want to get the tabletop running again. Okay, yeah, here's the CAD files for free. You can just have them. You can do whatever you want with these reimaginings that we've done. So I'm not going to call it atonement for Duke Nukem Forever, but they kind of went, games are cool. We love games. We love this universe. We love this universe so much. We're going to give other companies the stuff that we've had our visual artists working on for the last 3 years. All of it for free. No problems. And they did that with, to my knowledge, at least 2 companies. And I think that is a big kudos point to them. I'm not saying that they're going to get onto the top 10 list, but I'm saying that you accidentally found the one developer who's on there for something that doesn't resolve strictly around a video game. So what they've actually done is so immensely positive. I think they needed it. Didn't realize they made Duke Nukem Forever.
3D Realms and someone else made it apparently, and then, but that was like the original, like 10 years ago or whatever, 10 years earlier or whatever it was, and then like
Yeah, I seem to
Gearbox stepped
remember.
in to finish it, but Gearbox didn't actually do much of the work. They farmed it out to Piranha Games.
Right.
I vaguely recall that because that came up when Gearbox did the same thing with Aliens Colonial Marines. If
Yeah.
Piranha Games had developed Aliens Colonial Marines, no sob story would have saved it from the list.
That wasn't the sub story, but I get what you mean. That was
Oh
a
no,
warm-hearted
I'm
story.
having very, like, don't get me wrong, super awesome. Like, you've told me that loads of times on the podcast, I think. And I don't know if there's loads of times, but it was definitely on a recent one when we talked about MechWarrior.
Yes, it was
And
because there was a whole thing about
it's
kids
a really
like,
awesome
moving up.
story. Yeah,
Yeah.
like I said, those guys are really awesome. When I was like, okay, what did Piranha Games make? But I've been sucking into this in, you might remember, the Sega Master System 2 kerfuffle. So I'm just going to be like, yeah, fine. It's not getting on the top 10, but I will get
Okay,
it eventually.
so in response
Stop.
to that,
Stop.
I'll choose one of my own ones again.
Cool. I mean, I made it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go for Owlcat Video Games.
Ah. One of 2 developers who have made one game on this list.
Yes, they have made one game on this list.
Pathfinder.
Yes,
Kingmaker.
Pathfinder Kingmaker, which is basically Neverwinter Nights 3 in the Pathfinder world, using the Pathfinder like module set which came.
Just,
It's incredibly detailed. It's incredibly long game. It's wonderful. It's epic, legitimately epic, and has received non-stop and continuous updates and support. I remember once complaining to you that in like the first 3 months update like 24, 25, and you're like, isn't that what you want to see on a game? And it is. It's like they continually put out, they're continuing to support their product. Admittedly, it's the only game they've ever done, but they're continually like support and push this. Their community managers are still busy with this. Like I see a post from them like once or twice a month at least. But yeah, they've just done one game, so they don't have quite the legacy and the impact of other developers on this list. I just thought they were kind of cool.
Oh, they are kind of cool. Hey,
And I can't think of a single negative thing about any.
I'm no stranger. I mean, I'm not going to think like most of these developers. I'm not going to be like, "The fuck," you know me.
Yeah.
Even Piranha Games, it was like, "You made you. I'm sure you're very lovely," but that's not what kind of list this is. Yeah, okay, fair enough. I've just realised if you're calling Pathfinder Kingmaker Neverwinter Nights 3 spiritually, we've got the 3 different developers on this list who made all the Neverwinter Nights games.
I wonder how that happened.
I don't know. That's weird. Like, how could that have possibly happened? Keith, I love Monster Prom.
Yeah.
I love Monster Prom. It's fucking amazing. We stream it still. We still play it all the time. It's one of the funniest games I've ever played
backed the sequel.
in my entire life. When you opened your mouth on a live stream and just bees, and the camera used to point in that direction, and I just fell off my chair with laughter.
Yeah. It took you about 10 minutes to recover as far as I remember.
Yeah, it was like the scene in Star Trek 6 when they get hit by the energy wave and he crawls back up onto his chair. That was what I did. Because Keith opened his mouth and then bees.
Bees.
Just bees. Didn't even describe what happened. It was just bees. Bah.
You know what happens if you just open your mouth and bees come out.
Did they come out though? Or did the bees just appear? Or all around you? We'll never know. All we know is what happened next. But Beautiful Glacier made Uno game.
Yeah.
It was in my top 10 games of 2018 for a reason. Fucking awesome. But yeah, I am pitching to cut Beautiful glitch.
I understand that.
Do you yield?
I yield.
I don't know what's happening anymore. Mind games are afoot. Like the game in Sherlock Holmes. I couldn't remember what was afoot in Sherlock Holmes. What have you done to me? It's your go then.
My go then, eh?
Now, though we've had 2 goes each, we've only cut 2 games. So.
Yeah. So, this is the one that I was pretty sure would get me killed. But I'm gonna have I'm gonna have it like a little hit at it. I know it's like it's a massive like thing. That if you don't like the games that the studio produces, that you're not a gamer, that you're a crap human being, and you need to get good.
No. Get good.
Get good. Yeah. So if you can't tell, I'm going for From Software. So if we look at the chronicle of stuff that they've come out with recently, it's like Demon Souls, Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls 3, Bloodborne, Sekiro. There's a very different pattern in the recent years, which is basically, would you be thinking fair to say it's uber hardcore gaming?
No, because if I say it's uber hardcore gaming, I've then got to defend uber hardcore gaming. No, I defend uber hardcore gaming. They're specialist games. They're very niche.
Specialist niche games. Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at the other stuff like
Armored Core.
Ninja Blade.
Armored
Core, yes. Armored Core is something that they produce.
I've got the list here. Well, not the full list. And I did write just those 4 things. I forgot. I even didn't put Sekiro down because I didn't really like it very much.
The Adventures of Cookie and Cream, when you scroll through their list of games, stands out significantly from the rest of them. You've got this like bunny holding a cookie, and then you've got like demons and monsters, and this is like, what has that rabbit seen?
Who knows? I never played Adventures of Cookie and Cream. My first game was Bloodborne, From Software game.
Yeah. Yeah, Bloodborne. The game before that was Sekiro, and then Dark Souls.
Sekiro was the newest one.
Yeah. Oh, right, yeah. So Sekiro, Bloodborne, Dark Souls. Yeah, they certainly have a niche, like a stick, and they keep going back to it. And it's certainly that thing in gaming that it's like, oh, like, are you a proper game? Have you played Sekiro? Because that's a proper game. There's all this other stuff isn't proper games.
Sorry, I need to make a request before I run off camera, like crying.
Yeah.
Like, you're not talking about the whole of From Software's fans, right? Before we get into it with hate mail and our friendship ends.
Oh, I'm not. It's become that cultural sort of thing. That's like, what is it? It's like, this is the Dark Souls of. This is the
no.
It's no matter what you say, it has been that thing in the games industry to compare practically at one point practically any game that came out to Dark Souls to a From Software game.
Look, just because game journalists. See, look what you've done. Now I'm attacking games journalists. This is all your fault, Keith. I just wanted to talk about fucking cool gothic horror fantasy action games, but no. You had to bring the Discord into this, didn't you? Just because games journalists can't think of another comparison to a difficult game as Dark Souls doesn't make it Dark Souls' fault. There was a whole Twitter account set up to parody it. X, like Dark Souls. I can't remember it now. It's been a while since that was a thing. Like, it was Crash Bandicoot, I think, tipped everything over the edge. And when Cliff Bleszinski was like, Lawbreakers is the Dark Souls of Lucia's, and everybody was like, what? It's not even a Lucia. He didn't say a Lucia's. My brain is frazzled. How can I refute the disc? Like, I talk about, like, how can I refute that? like some gamers are shit. Like, I mean, is that really a road we want to go down with all of these developers? That some of their fans are absolutely terrible, but occasionally produce world class memeable content. You not only cheated the game, but you cheated yourself.
Well, I can see the XCOM one.
Yeah, when they got the guy as well. That was amazing. I mean, Bloodborne was like the first PS4 exclusive that anybody gave a shit about. Let's be real. Because I want to bring this up on a video at some point, but there was a couple of years there, and I remember this because we were talking about games, where like Xbox had the better exclusives than PS4, because PS4 had The Order 1886.
Oh lord!
And Killzone, and Infamous Second Son was okay. And then Bloodborne came out, and everybody was like, what the fuck, this is amazing. And it was amazing. It did take me 2 goes to get into it, because I never played a From Software game before. And got my skull caved in. But even as I was getting my skull caved in, I always walked away and was like, right, fuck that shit, I'm not playing it again. And then I was back. Like, an hour later, like, because I like challenging games. You don't have to like challenging games. I feel like I was attacked a little bit there. Like, you don't have to like challenging games. Just let me have my challenging games. And if anybody calls you out and says you're not a real gamer because you don't play Dark Souls, you just point them in my direction. I'll tell them. Tell everyone else. Looking forward to the next round of Ooblets discussions on the podcast next week. However, I don't know. I'm looking, like, when you said From Software is for me on the cusp of being like, could potentially like get in, or could potentially not, of like games that I put on the list. Because there are games where I'm like, I don't reasonably expect these to get on the top 10. And From Software was on the edge of that list. So I'm going to star it for now, unless you decide you want to definitely cut it out. In which case, I can't stop you, because that's how the rules work, so that we wouldn't just end up with a complete like 5-hour impasse podcast. I'm going to star it for now, but it might end up being used sacrificially later on. Bloodborne's amazing though. Bloodborne's amazing. Sekiro's pretty okay, I guess. Dark Souls is fun. The third one. Keith's played more of the first one than I have.
I did not play very much of that game.
I know, I've played the first boss. That's it. I didn't like the controls. Shit. It's my turn, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, bollocks. And Keith, I got rid of all the easy ones. I'm in trouble.
Did you, or did I get rid of the easy one?
Well, you kept one of the easy ones on the board. Alright. It's time. Sorry. It's Platinum Games. I'm sorry, everybody. I would have loved to get Platinum Games up all the way to number 10, because I wouldn't have gone any further than that. But
is that because you're a big Bayonetta fan, or because of Nier Automata?
Yes.
Because I can't believe it would be Star Fox Zero.
Star Fox Zero is probably what killed it for me. It's for 3 games. Bayonetta, Nier Automata, Vanquish. Everybody always forgets about Vanquish. Vanquish was one of the best third-person shooters. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. You just don't know until you played it. Platinum Games made a third-person cover shooter. Imagine that. Just imagine it. How mental that game must be. And you're right. Like From Software, though, they make more niche games. Like Nier Automata is the first time they've come out into sort of like a bit more mainstream, because they made a game published by Square Enix, and because it was a huge blow up because of how good it was. And yeah, it's fucking amazing. It's got one of the best video game stories ever told. purely because one, the story is actually really good, and two, it could only be a video game. Like, this isn't a story that could be a movie or a TV series or a book. That might be a book. House of Leaves is a thing, but like it. Oh. But because it's like, I look at the games on this list, the games developers on this list. I think about the games that all of those developers have made, and I think those games are really awesome. But Nier Automata is going to go down as one of the greats of this generation. However, we're talking about the best of the best here, Keith. And while Platinum Games is one of the best, they're not one of the best of the best.
Okay.
And I knew he wasn't going to say anything because I picked that.
I haven't actually played any of the games that you mentioned on that list.
How dare you? I'm
To be honest, when I first looked for Platinum Games, all I got was the PS one. You know, the PlayStation Platinum Games I got.
Oh yeah, actual Platinum Games, the silver
Yeah.
with the silver spines. Yeah, I remember those. I used to buy them all the time because I was skint.
I can't go for that one. I can't go for that one. I went for that one. It did not end well.
We may have made a mistake.
I'm looking at
Just
some of
remember,
the games on
like-
here, and it's just like some of the developers, and I'm looking at the games. It's like,
Okay, while you look through that, I'm going to say two things.
yeah,
Just remember, like, we made a pact a long time ago that we have to just sometimes let things go.
you have to let things go.
And number two, here's the list as it stands right now. So we've managed to cut 3 games in like half a fucking hour or whatever it's been. 40 minutes, Jesus, I don't know. So here's what's left. BioWare, Blizzard Entertainment, Bungie, Capcom, Crystal Dynamics, From Software, Naughty Dog, Nintendo, Obsidian Entertainment, Piranha Games, Respawn Entertainment, Supergiant Games, and Squaresoft.
Indeed. Blizzard. I'm gonna go with Blizzard Games.
I haven't frozen. I'm just legitimately
Yeah.
in shock.
I'm looking at some of the other ones, and I was like weighing up the difference between Crystal Dynamics and Blizzard. And then I looked at Blizzard's games, and I'm like, I really like Warcraft. I really loved Warcraft 3. I really enjoyed my time in Azeroth from World of Warcraft. But when I look at Crystal Dynamics, I think about the legacy of like the Tomb Raider games, not
Not just Tomb Raider Legacy.
yeah, not just the latest one, but like, because they did like did they do the original Tomb Raider, or was it just the? No.
Tomb Raider Legend, Tomb Raider Anniversary, Tomb Raider. Shit, those are the wrong order. Tomb Raider something or other. The three games and then the reboot.
Yeah, there's like Tomb Raider Legends, Anniversary, Underworld,
That was
a couple of like
Underworld.
spin-off ones, and I'm just like, Tomb Raider trilogy.
That was just Tomb Raider Legend, Underworld, and Anniversary.
Yeah. One called Mad Dog McCree.
And then the Legacy of Kain. If the Crystal Dynamics been around forever, people don't seem to realize that.
They've been around for a long time. You can tell by the original PlayStation.
Legacy of Kain.
Yeah, it's like Blizzard's just Overwatch at the moment.
For you.
I was
me.
gonna continue that. But like they do Overwatch at the moment. That's their big flagship product. Then they've got the ongoing product, which has been going forever, which is World of Warcraft, the best MMO ever to come out. Apparently, because if you just look at the numbers, yeah, it is massive, and it's like it's brilliant. And Warcraft 3 is amazing. And in fact, the more I'm talking about this, the more I'm convinced that I've made a mistake, because I thought for a second that Crystal Dynamics did the original Tomb Raider, and now I'm thinking about that. No, it's
That was
not.
core design.
Yeah.
Keith, I'm going to save you from yourself. No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
No.
Yeah. Okay. So no, we're not getting rid of Blizzard. Yeah.
Yeah. If we get rid of them at all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Keith, I want to make
Yeah.
a trade. I can't believe I'm going to make this trade. If anyone who's a fan of From Software sees this video, don't believe the suicide note. Piranha Games, gone.
Yeah.
From Software, gone. Because
Yeah,
I feel like
that's
we're
fair.
holding on to those for very specific reasons that are specific to
Yeah.
us.
Okay. I can agree with that because the Piranha Games thing was just basically because of how good they've been outside of them.
Yeah. And
yeah,
I think From Software might sneak the top 10, but
yeah,
it's not my list. So I'm happy to cut us down to 11 because I do want to finish this podcast sometime on the day we're recording it. You're going to see the sun go down, like, in the background of Keith's thing, like,
yeah.
if we're not careful. So does that mean?
Yeah.
So does that mean it goes back to you? Since I've just cut
Yes, it
2
does.
entire games studios.
Okay. Oh, God. No, I can't.
Once we get this last one, we're into the top 10. I thought this was going to be easier than the time we did soundtracks, not harder.
That one I would die on a hill for. That one I would die on a hill for. That one I really think should come up to the top 10 because it's been horribly abused by its publisher. Point you can guess which one that was. Okay.
Does it begin with
So,
B?
no.
Okay.
Even R.
There's only one left that begins with an R.
Yeah. You would definitely shoot me if I suggested we cut that one. I would probably shoot myself if I cut that one.
See, what Keith doesn't know is which studios are the crossover studio. For that, we
Yes.
both picked.
Indeed, Keith does not.
Keith might be surprised.
Yeah.
It's the only piece of information I hold over you in these debates.
Yeah.
I know which one's crossed over.
I'm looking at 2 different studios, and one has produced not many games, and I've just mentioned got kind of
He's stalling.
actually only one of them was really
You have to keep talking. It's a podcast.
yeah, sorry. I'm just because this decision may reverse itself come November.
Okay, I know where you're going.
Yeah, but I think I'm gonna go with Respawn Entertainment.
Yeah.
They produced the most, I think, underrated science fiction like first-person shooter of that year and possibly that decade, which was Titanfall 2.
Time. Wasn't underrated. Where's about games though?
No, it wasn't.
It's like
it
number
got
2.
it was either
Game of the year.
yeah, a couple of us put
3.
like
3.
yeah.
Persona. No, that was a different year. It's Final Fantasy, Overwatch, Titanfall.
Yeah, it was an amazing game. And I recommend everyone goes out and play.
Yeah, and play it on
the
Xbox.
campaign.
Because then if you play it on Xbox, our queue times will be shorter. God.
But yeah, it's an amazing game. The campaign makes you feel something for like some AI hunting death machine. There is puzzle platforming moments in it. There is the first person shooting. It is such an amazing game. But then I look at the other games that they've produced, and the original Titanfall had some very obvious issues.
One very obvious flaw, which I didn't see as a flaw. Like, because if they didn't implement, like, we're talking about campaign multiplayer. Like, I was fine with it just being multiplayer. Like,
Yeah.
if they didn't implement campaign multiplayer, would we all be talking about this game in a better light? Like, I often wonder that.
Yeah. Titanfall was awesome. We got
Fucking love
Titanfall 2, which was even more amazing. They produced Apex Legends since then, and we're getting Jedi Fallen Order, which looks to be a very good game. We'll find out at the end of the year if I
Find out.
should not have cut this one off. And I'm still waiting for
If-
that premium Titanfall experience.
Well, yeah, we'll find. I mean, they're announcing some podcast talk. So,
Yeah.
this was a crossover. I imagine this is the surprising crossover. But I was like, when I was writing out all of the games in the lists and stuff, I was like, these guys are some of the most talented developers in the business right now.
Yeah.
But pitched against the legacy of what other studios have made over the course of decades. And I can't
Yeah.
in good conscience be like, but they were also Infinity Ward and they made Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Like, no, I can't do that.
No.
Like, I kind of figured they didn't have the legs to make it into the top 10, and I was quite sad about that because Titanfall 2 is amazing. Titanfall 1 was amazing. Fight me, internet. And Apex Legends is really great.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll stream it one day if I don't sleep for 4 hours instead. But, like, ask me again in 5 years. Like, top 10 video game developers. And we might just be like, obviously, that we're not going to cut Respawn.
Yeah, it's like in 2 months' time, we might be sitting here going, yeah, they've got a solid legacy behind them. They've got their legs underneath.
Oh, and don't think we won't redo lists from time to time.
Because we're that unimaginative. I mean, we're that detailed.
We're at 10.
We're at 10, people. We're at 10.
We did it. If you came here for a top 10 list, we're finally starting to make the top 10 list.
Yeah, 6 of my games. If you.
Yeah, well, let's crossover. Let's not forget.
Yeah.
Here's what we have left. Ow. Here's what we have left. There we go. It's framed. We have BioWare. We have Blizzard Entertainment. We have Bungie. We have Capcom. We have Crystal Dynamics. We have Naughty Dog. We have Nintendo. We have Obsidian Entertainment. We have Supergiant Games. And we've got Squaresoft. Now what we're going to do is we're going to fill in the other side of the board, where I've already handily written out a top 10. Like numbers. I haven't written out the list. It's also very, very wonky. But that's just me. Nothing straight about me. And what we're going to do now is, instead of taking turns to cut games like backwards and forwards, now we make pitches. So someone will make a pitch for number 10, and then the other person will either accept that pitch or reject that pitch. If they reject that pitch, they have to offer an alternative pitch. So there's no more stalling tactics or anything like that. Mind games are probably still possible. We're still trying to figure this format out. It's only been 10 episodes. And we keep going all the way up until we get to number 1. So there's no like, it's Keith's turn, it's my turn, it's Keith's turn, it's my turn. It's, we look at the game and we try to collaboratively make a list and occasionally fall out over Left 4 Dead. So, do you have any ideas about where you want to start?
Yes.
I figured you would, and I'm a nice girl, so I'm letting you go first.
I've kind of got an idea for 9 and 10, so I'll start with 10 because that kind of makes. Crystal Dynamics.
Okay. Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
We already talked about them at length, but if you want to say more,
it's pretty much, it's like, I must admit that I didn't have the original PlayStation, so that early cat is just like anything that they made before 2003, or well, by like 2000.
Anything they made that wasn't called Tomb Raider.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it, it's like anything before like 2007. I've got like, and that's a lot of games because Crystal Dynamics has been in the industry for a very long time. The first game I've ever properly played from them was Tomb Raider 2013, which is an amazing game. Rise of the Tomb Raider, which came out a couple of years afterwards.
Rotra.
And then the latest one, which was a bit sort of what?
Underwater stealth sections with piranhas. No thanks, couldn't do it.
Yeah. Mm, the whole like Lara Croft becomes the Predator. Those like odd feel to it. In certain places and certain things didn't 100% feel right, but I think that's because someone else came in and helped. But yeah, what I'm not gonna start going through like the game.
Yeah, I mean, you're fine because I'm pretty sure Crystal didn't make Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Oh, didn't make much of it. Because they're making Avengers, but that's not something that impacts us in this
Yeah.
list, in this time zone, in this
Yeah, I mean that's
sphere
the
of
credit for it, but
2019.
yeah. So that was my 10.
Yeah, I'm fine with
Yeah,
that.
cool.
Interestingly, it's not where I would have put it. But, yeah. Legacy of Kain was cool. Amy Hennig writes really well. That's all I have to add to what you just said.
Yeah.
You said
So I
nine
did
as
have
well?
I did have an idea of the third for number 9, but I don't know if you'll kill me for suggesting it or not.
Okay, I'm just going to put this out there. There is exactly one development studio on this list where if you
Yeah.
mention them too low, we will have a fight.
I think this is it.
Okay.
Naughty Dog.
Oh, God, no.
I know you're a big fan of
I'm a
Nathan Drake,
huge Naughty Dog fan.
and The Last of Us is like
Like,
meant to be some seminal masterpiece.
that's not the one we're going to have a fight. Don't get me wrong. I'm not ecstatic that you that you brought it up. But you said you speak first. That's how this works.
Yeah. I mean, again, they're another game that's been around for ages. I mean, I think they started producing games in the very late 1989, 1988. Yeah, they've been around forever. But they've got all of their big games. When I really remember, I remember my sister playing Crash Bandicoot on the original PlayStation. Never really thought much of Crash Bandicoot back then. I know a lot of people disagree with me because we got the remaster and people were ecstatic about it. My sister was ecstatic about it. But the early games kind of went past me. I was never really invested in those games.
You also didn't have a PlayStation.
Yeah, which is why I completely slept through the Nathan Drake saga, all of the Nathan Drake things. And then obviously I've heard that like Last of Us is like an amazing game and everything, but it's zombies, so
Don't do
I'm kind
that.
of done. Yeah,
Don't do
I'm
that.
kind of done with zombies, and I
No.
have been for a long time, which is why I didn't get left like
Cool.
that game.
So you didn't get The Last of Us because zombies. Cool. I've just sorry. The inner storyteller in me has to just say, like, a good story. It doesn't matter, like, if it's got zombies or not. Like, sorry. Go on. I had to pitch in there.
No.
I let the stuff about Dark Souls fans go, but couldn't let that go. You may continue now.
I didn't go back to get the game because I got my PlayStation well after the PlayStation 4, well after the like remastered came, because that was like the flagship game for the PlayStation 4 when it came out. Like,
It was out in the
we've
first
got the
year.
remastered game.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
Last of Us came out with like in June, and then the PS4 came out in like November. So it was like very end of the PS3.
Yeah.
Hell of a fucking way to go.
Yeah. Lots of people rave about it and stuff, but I wasn't going to go back for that. Instead, I ended up picking up a game called Persona 5. And
you can play more than one
rest
game.
of, like 4 months playing that.
Yeah, but you finished it now. You can play other games.
Yeah.
I mean, the Uncharted series, I obviously didn't get into it because I didn't have a PS3. So I got into it with the Nathan Drake collection. Like, and played them all before Uncharted 4 came out because everyone was like, Uncharted 4. And I was like, no, dog, didn't they make Crash Bandicoot? What the fuck? I wasn't because I played The Last of Us Remastered the day it came out. And it's amazing. Zombies are no zombies. The humans are the real monsters. That almost made a very spoilery comment, but one day maybe I'll get Keith to play these story-driven games that he dislikes so much, like Last of Us and God of War. But yeah, no, like I'm fine with them being like low down on the list. We're at a point now where there's only a couple of games I want to game studios I want to be like protective of. Like it's the top 10. Like Naughty Dog got to the top 10. That's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
If I was gonna make a suggestion to maybe move it Naughty Dog up by one place, and in its place slot in Obsidian Entertainment, I might consider doing that. Because, well, I love Obsidian Entertainment for Fallout New Vegas and Neverwinter 2 and I guess KOTOR 2.
I
And
mean,
South Park, The Stick of Truth was the other one that they made. Those are all
Star
really
Wars
great games.
Knights of the Old Republic.
2.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
This is the Pillars of Eternity.
Pillars of Eternity was cool, but Divinity was better. So I played the Pillars. I played Pillar. I backed it. Okay, I backed both those games on Kickstarter. I played Pillars for like 10 hours. I played Divinity for all of the hours. Like they make really good games, and I'm not knocking.
They make really great sequels to the previously good game, which
They
is the reason they were the second developer to go on my list.
They make great sequels. Mostly. KOTOR 2. Sorry guys. I just wasn't digging it. Just to me, like looking at that library of games, which is great, and then looking at putting that up against The Last of Us and Uncharted, I'm like, if I had a say in this, which I kind of do, like that's how I would order it. I'm not suggesting rocketing Naughty Dog up like miles up the list.
Yeah.
Just to put
them.
Yeah.
I can go with that. Yeah. So we've got 8, 9, 10.
Yeah. So we've sorted 8, 9, and 10. So at number 10 we have Crystal Dynamics. At number 9 we have Obsidian, and at number 8 we have Naughty Dog. Here's what's left. Give me one sec to just update this list. We have 7 games left. Game studios left. BioWare, Blizzard, Bungie, Capcom, Nintendo, Supergiant, and Squaresoft. Keith hasn't found the automatic kill switch. Although he thought he did.
What?
He thought he did, which was interesting. Because, yeah, you'll see. So do we have any ideas for number 7 out of those? Because there's one that's sitting here with a star on it. It's the one that somebody tried to cut off first.
Yeah.
And it's still here.
First. I mean,
it was the first Bungie. Yeah. It was the first thing you tried to cut.
I had thought that was the second one I came in to cut.
No.
I cut some of the young ones off first.
That might have been the second one. But either way, it's got a star on it, and it's like, it's crawling. And I just want to make sure we haven't forgotten about it.
Yeah.
In the hub.
No, it's crawling into it. It's like, yeah.
How did Bungie get it number 1? Plot twist.
Yeah, it's like, maybe that was my plan all along.
Then that plan will fail. But.
Yeah.
BioWare, Blizzard Entertainment, Bungie, Capcom, Nintendo, Supergiant Games, and Squaresoft. And then I look down at the list of franchises and games that all of those companies are responsible for, and I'm just like, don't make me choose between my children.
Sophie's Choice.
These are my children, and I will protect them at all costs. Keith, BioWare's kind of sucked in the last 5 years.
It has. It has. I mean, Neverwinter Nights, the original.
We've done it. I will say, just before you continue, they are the only developer out of this entire list that we've done a video specifically about their games for.
Yeah.
So no one can question that, like, we're big BioWare fans.
Yeah, just on the, like a cutback, have any of the games that they've released in the last 5 years? They didn't really get a very high on the list, did they?
No, I don't think they made it into the runoff into the master list. Like Mass Effect Andromeda did but it was only because I didn't want to put Mass Effect 3 on the list.
Yeah.
And Andromeda
Yeah.
wasn't as terrible as everyone. It wasn't great, but it wasn't as terrible as everyone said it was. Yeah, I mean, their legacy is undeniable. You've got Mass Effect and Mass Effect 2. You've got Dragon Age. You've got Dragon Age 2. You've got Dragon Age Inquisition. That was just for you. You've got Knights of the Old Republic. You've got Baldur's Gate 2. You've got Neverwinter Nights.
Mm-hmm.
But then you've also got Anthem and Mass Effect 3. Mass Effect Andromeda. And BioWare Magic, which...
Yeah.
I couldn't really reconcile. Like, you've got to try and reconcile at some point, right? Like, it's the same reason Rockstar didn't get on my original, like, not even my first list, which was like 17 game dev studios. Like, Rockstar did not appear. And yeah, I think like BioWare deserves to be on the top 10, and maybe it even deserves to be higher. I don't know. Like, I'm just looking at that list, and like all I can see, I'm not even seeing the word BioWare. I'm just seeing the word Anthem at this point.
Seeing Anthem is a bit unfair, but
No,
the last few games
compared to where we are, like,
Yeah.
if you'd have suggested cutting BioWare before we reached the top 10, like, all hell would have
No.
probably broken loose. But I knew you weren't going to do that. But like, at this point, it's like I'm looking at what everyone's made and thinking, okay, like, who deserves to stick at number 7, and BioWare sticks out for me personally.
Yeah, that's fair. Don't even though Neverwinter like Night is like the game I first put in our Hall of. Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, the developer of the game that I put on our first Hall of Fame isn't even here. Woo-hoo. However, the developer of the game I'm going to put on next is Mysteries. Okay, so BioWare slots in at 7. That leaves us with Blizzard, Bungie, Capcom, Nintendo, Supergiant, and Squaresoft. Don't make me choose between my children.
I'm gonna make you choose between your children.
But I love them all. I feel like you were going somewhere with that, and then you just didn't.
We're choosing between for number 6, aren't we?
Yes, we're choosing for number 6. So after this, we're the top 5.
Yeah. I'm looking at that one that's crawling along, like crawling.
Like someone
I'm
kneecapped
thinking-
it.
Can I get it to 5? I mean, and then I'm trying to think of
You
the other
can.
games that.
I mean, you can. If we're doing a friendly debate,
Yeah.
which we are, you could get it at number 5. But, like, in the words of Avengers Endgame, it would cost you everything. It would cost you let's just look. If we just look at the six studios, the 6 game development studios that are left, right?
Yeah.
And they all stand out for very different reasons, and they're all exceptional game development studios. But one of them, as Keith slowly goes out of focus, one of them is kind of stands out from the rest as being slightly different than the rest of these studios for some reason. And I'm trying to like get them in the center of the camera shot, but their name's too long.
Yeah, they do have a really long name, don't they?
Yeah.
Don't make me choose between my children.
So I'm gonna go with I'm gonna make a pitch and say that Bungie should be at number 6.
Yeah, I'll go for that. What have you done for me recently, Bungie?
Wait, boy, you damn you, Bungie, damn you and Destiny. Like, I mean, we already gushed about Halo.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
Halo
on the
Reach
podcast.
is an all-time favorite game, but yeah.
It is. I don't know how you fix yourself from going out of focus, but you've definitely you look like you're in a dream sequence in Star Trek. You know, when Captain Kirk sees the sexy alien lady and it all goes a bit hazy. Like, it's all a bit weird. I hope that helped. That helped. There we go. You're back in focus now. You just didn't want to see
I
the
figured
look on me to see the look on your face, did you? When it was like, I mean, I didn't say it out loud. I heavily implied it, maybe. Okay, so now we've got the top 5 to do.
Yeah.
This is difficult.
Yeah.
This is very difficult. Do you have any
I mean,
ideas?
I've got lists. There's two things that there's 3 developers on this game on this list that we haven't even touched, and
There
their catalogs are somewhat large.
Vast, one might say.
Yeah, one of them is potentially bringing back its catalog in updated and re-released forms.
True, but what they're doing with that catalog in a lot of ways, that they do it is like not only are they re-releasing, they're also going, hey, you know the game that was like one of the best games of all time, and you go, and they go, we made it like twice as good, and you're like, that's not possible, and then you sit with a controller in your hand, and you're like, oh my god, they did it, the mad bastards. They did it! Are we going to tell people who we're talking about, or should we just continue to dance around the identity of this game development studio place?
Well, we're obviously talking about, but no, we're talking about Capcom.
Blizzard released one game every lunar something. There's that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I tried to go somewhere funny with that. But...
There's meant to be a remake of one of the Blizzard games which I adored, which was Warcraft 3 coming out this year. But they're still being hazy on the date it's coming out.
You mentioned it when you tried to cut them. And then I had to save you from yourself.
It was part of my tactical plan.
It's on my list as well. Come on.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to let you cut Blizzard by accident when I put it on my list.
I don't get to see your list, Amy. I have to guess.
That's the point. You're supposed to put... I don't see your list before I make my list. That's the whole idea. We don't influence each other's lists. By me going, oh, he's put this on his list. Cool, I don't need to. You can hit your desk all you want. But we've got to make some decisions, and they're going to be hard decisions.
Yeah. I mean, I love and adore Warcraft 3 so much. And Warcraft, actually, I spent a lot of time in it, but do I love that more than I love Capcom's games? I mean, do you have any ideas?
I mean, hey, I love Bastion and Transistor as much as the next person, but you're asking yourself if you love... You're asking yourself if you love Warcraft and Overwatch more than Resident Evil, Monster Hunter, and Mega Man, and Devil May Cry. And I'm sitting here going, and also the early Final Fantasies and Chrono Trigger, and Super Mario Brothers, and Animal Crossing, and Legend of Zelda, and Mario Kart, and Bastion and Transistor. And I'm having a bit of a panic attack. And I'm like, I can't take it anymore. Series is cancelled. We're done. We've
killed Amy.
We've failed. Keeps mind games have worked.
This is like a further step from my DMing, where I've just decided to like make you suffer.
My page is Supergiant Games because they're amazing, but they're not quite as amazing as others. And that's going to be my pitch for the entire rest of the fucking list going up, I think.
Their games are consistently excellent, but they've only got 3.5 games.
Oh, really? I haven't played Hades yet. Bastion was amazing. Transistor was amazing. And I never played Pyre.
You need to play
but I imagine it's amazing because it's fucking Supergiant Games.
Despite my constant save problems, which meant I had to stop playing after every match, every half an hour I'd have to stop and go out of it and then come back and save properly. I still completed that game. I sunk hours into that game, even though I had such problems saving it, because it is amazing. And they make amazing games. And they've just done a patch in Hades, which I've heard about, which allows you to pet Cerberus.
Okay.
But yeah.
I hope they release
Getting Giant Games into the top 5. I can live with that.
I feel like it was on my to-do list as well. Like get them into the top 5, and I feel like it's like, okay, we did it.
It's like the underdog gun.
I mean, although what I would say is, were they really the underdog if we were both pulling for them and we're the only people here? Were they truly the underdog, or are they actually just one of the best development studios in the industry? The answer is both, by the way.
It was a hard ask. It was a hard ask.
It's both. Okay, Keith, now I'm fine with putting Capcom in at number 4. I'll talk
Thank
about
you.
them. I'll talk about them. I mean, they made Resident Evil. Like, I have about 100 podcasts / videos / everything on my YouTube channel that'll tell you all you need to know about how I feel about Resident Evil.
I have sat next to you and watched you play, not very successfully, but play Resident Evil 1 in your sleep. So,
Yeah. Well, I made it quite a distance before you realised I was asleep. And you only realised I was asleep, not because I got lost, but because my thumb just like kind of tilted the analog stick and I just started running around in a circle. Like, it's a go-to game for me all the time. Remake. Like, I played the shit out of it when it came out on GameCube. I played the shit out of it when it came out on PC. I play it at charity events because I can do it in a few hours. Like, I do randomizers when it's the game when it's like, I don't have anything to play. Well, fuck, play Resident Evil then. I'll just randomize all the doors and all the enemies. And oh god, what have I done? Like, but beyond Resident Evil, like, we got like the likes of Monster Hunter, which obviously I only got into with Monster Hunter World. Like a lot of people who live outside of the Japan. I don't know why I said the Japan. I just go with it. Mega
it is a
Man.
mythical place.
It is a mythical place with no video games, according to United States Senator, but we won't get into that until next Monday. The Mega Man, they did Mega Man again, like such a fantastic series, like of games that I played for a bit. They were really difficult, and because I was a kid, I was like, no, thanks. No, I'm good, thank you. There was another one. I just write them all down for a reason. Devil May Cry, obviously, and Ace Attorney.
Objection.
Yeah, exactly. I can't
no.
not mention it, even though I was like, I never played them. Like, I couldn't let the opportunity to make Keith say objection pass.
I still need to see that film.
Yeah, I know, right? So we're down to the top 3. Blizzard Entertainment, Squaresoft, and Nintendo.
So that's a list of
That's
wow.
I mean, just think about the output of those
Yeah.
3 by themselves.
Indeed.
Sweet
I mean,
Jesus. You could just have just those 3 game developers and still have like an amazing time like playing video games.
I mean, Blizzard has produced a lot less games, but the games that they've produced could have you playing for a very long time. For instance, I want to do everything in World of Warcraft, but that would require making multiple outros. 6 years later, oh, the new expansion's coming out in a week. I just finished everything.
You can't finish MMOs. You can't do it. Don't even try.
I've 100% completed this MMO. Now I can die. New expansion released in 2. Try the new opening event for the expansion coming out. New quest lines and get. What?
Just sitting there like. Yeah.
Someone cursed to finish World of Warcraft, and it's just like.
And I mean, then you've got Warcraft, and you've got the strategy series. You've got Overwatch. You've got StarCraft, which we're not going to touch on very much because I don't think either of us are particularly massively into StarCraft or like Hearthstone. Let's talk about the other 2, and then make a decision. How about that?
Yeah.
Because it buys us some time.
Yeah.
I mean, Nintendo, like, and while a lot of people probably think they're responsible for everything that gets published on their systems, they're not. Like, Fire Emblem isn't them, Smash Brothers isn't them, Kirby wasn't them. I'm starting to reach now, like, oh. But what is them is like Super Mario, Animal Crossing, The Legend of Zelda, Mario Kart. So like,
Yeah.
it's still a fucking
Yeah.
a shit
See,
kicking library.
it is a big library. The thing that really like annoys me is because I used Google for this. A lot of the games that it brings up saying, "Oh, Nintendo developed games," is what you searched for. Kirby, Tetris, Animal Crossing, and it's like,
Yeah,
wait, was Tetris really made by? Oh wait, no, it wasn't. I mean, Sega helped
no,
develop that thing.
they helped develop, like Nintendo helped develop a version of Tetris that came to Game Boy. Like they helped develop a bunch of different games. Bandai Namco helped to develop Super Smash Brothers. Like, but Sora would be the studio. I would be like, they developed it. That's them.
Yeah,
And they almost ended up on my master list just because of Super Smash Brothers. But like yeah, it's a minefield because like Nintendo like just gets credit for everything. Like that time Pokemon Go came out and all their share prices went up, and then Nintendo were like, we don't make Pokemon.
yeah,
Like, but yeah, like it's Nintendo. There's a Nintendo development studio which changes its name every fucking few years just to really throw you off the scent.
yeah.
I'm sure that's not why they changed their name every 3 years, but yeah, I mean, like even
Who
on
knows? Who knows the mind of Nintendo?
not even the
I
people
felt like
who
I had to do that with Probo. It's like, who knows the mind of Nintendo?
not
Knows
even
chaos on an
yeah,
intimate level.
nice. You nailed it. Yeah, but even so, it was still like the collection of Mario, Zelda, Animal Crossing.
Yeah,
It's
that's
fairly unbeatable. And then we have nope, that was too far. Last on this, we have SquareSoft, who became Square Enix in like 2003.
yeah.
And I've made a specific distinction between Squaresoft and Square Enix for anyone that wonders why Squaresoft specifically is on this list.
Yeah.
Because
So you're saying nothing after 2003, so Parasite Eve and all that is gone.
Parasite Eve was way before 2003 because we were playing that in high school.
Yeah, so I said like Parasite Eve and Parasite Eve 2 and stuff, that's all gone.
No, I'm saying that's the stuff that. So
Right.
the first 10 Final Fantasies and Bushido Blade and Chrono Trigger and Parasite Eve and Parasite Eve 2. I'm saying the stuff they made
Right.
after
Okay.
they became Square Enix.
Final Fantasy 7, but not Final Fantasy 15. Right, got it.
Yes, exactly.
Unfortunately, I've never finished Final Fantasy 7 or 8.
What was your game of E3 again?
Oh, I mean, I am looking forward to going in on like, it's just
Oh,
I
yeah.
got lost in
No,
the massive stack of a book of like things to do in Final Fantasy 7.
and that's
It's
a
like the
bad
print
thing.
off could be like 80 pages.
This
And I
game
was
has
going
lots
through
of
them,
things to do in it. Damn you.
yeah, I was like, I was wandering through Blizzard at one point doing specific turns so I could find the material, and I would never have found this
I mean, that's
without
the
this.
point, right? Like, that was
Yeah.
gaming in the 90s, I feel like. Like, how the
Yeah.
hell was I so. Like, the piano puzzle in Silent Hill. Like, how the fuck was I supposed to know what to do there?
The piano in Final Fantasy VII, for ages, I had a bit of paper like underneath my monitor, and one of the things written on there was the directions because I was playing the Steve's version, just for how to move and do stuff in Final Fantasy.
Jesus.
The other
Yeah,
half of the
controls.
page, was Tifa's tune
Yeah.
to unlock a road.
It was cool when he did it, but yeah, it was like they really didn't label those buttons very well. But that was the PC port, and I ain't talking about the PC port.
Yeah.
So those
I
are
would
the
have
three.
given, I would have given Squaresoft like more credit if Final Fantasy 15 was in there because that was my game of the year for me.
I mean,
That was
at
so
what point
amazing.
am I just creating an unstoppable juggernaut behemoth if I was like Square Enix? What do you mean, like the company after it was formed? Yes, but also Square and Enix.
But yeah,
Isn't
no,
that
I mean
like all the games
Squaresoft.
that came out in the 90s?
Yeah. I mean, you've got not only have you've got the Secrets of Mana and everything that they're just coming back to re-releasing, aren't you?
You've got to be careful with shit like that because again, they're two companies. And I can't remember. Like, I'm just going off the games that I played and loved, right? Like, Mana
Yeah.
didn't even come out in the West. Like, that was why Tom. That was why Patrick was so hyped about
Yeah.
about the game turning up. But no, it was Square. Yeah, so you've got those two, I guess.
Yeah.
Because I never really played any NX games, like, or at least none that I remember. And specifically, like, I remember the SquareSoft logo and the way it faded in on PlayStation. Like, and
Mhm.
if I played an NX game, like it would be news to me. Um, but those are the three that we've got left.
Yeah.
So Blizzard,
I mean,
Nintendo, SquareSoft.
for me personally, I would put Mario at number 3. I've never really, for like the Nintendo games, I must admit I do have Mario in some forms on my Switch, but the only like those like Nintendo games that I go after are the go karting game,
Which is made by Nintendo.
yeah, and Super Smash Brothers.
Which wasn't well, mostly
Yeah,
Sakurai,
um,
Sora, Bandai. Weirdly.
yeah, and those are the really games I really play with my friends. Not games I really like to sit down and enjoy by myself. So I
Oh.
would put them at number 3 because I've gotten a lot more personal enjoyment out of those other two development studios. So I'd put Mario at number 3. Would you agree with that? Would you agree you've had more enjoyment from Blizzard and Squaresoft?
Hmm. I'm thinking of the 500 hours I put in at Mario Kart Double Dash on GameCube. And weighing it against the 750 hours I put into World of Warcraft at the same time. And then thinking, that's why I missed an entire console generation. Because Halo 2 is at the same time. And then so when you ask me about PS2 and Xbox and GameCube games, it's like I played like maybe 5 games for 1,000,000 hours each, and then I missed like everything else. I didn't play Resident Evil 4 for years.
Were you sad about that, or?
I mean, it was a really good game, but at the same time, like it didn't like get worse over time.
Yeah. Help!
When I played it, it was still just as good as if I'd have played it when it came out.
Yeah.
QTEs aren't great though. Would I agree with that? At this point, like if you'd have gone for Nintendo down in the 8s, not when or the 9, when I was like when you were like I'm gonna die, like if you'd have gone for Nintendo, I probably would have died. That was the one game. So you were close in terms of like the alphabetical ordering that we put on the list. Yeah, sure. 110% I'd put Nintendo on at number 3. If you had developed maybe one other game franchise like Smash Brothers or Fire Emblem or just one more, maybe things would have gone. Maybe we would have elevated you, but you didn't. If you made Pokemon, this would have been all over before it even began. If you made Smash Brothers, it would have definitely been all over before it began. Maybe it's the heat tongue, but I'm not massively invested in which order these last two go in. But given that Final Fantasy VII is my favorite game of all time, I would make the pitch to Blizzard to go at number 2. Like
I'm happy with Blizzard going at number 2 because I have this sort of like love/apathy relationship with World of Warcraft and a pure just love of Warcraft 3. But I also really like I like Final Fantasy like 7. I've never managed to finish it. I'm really looking forward to this remake, and I adored the Final Fantasy 15, which by another company, but if we're going off these rules, was probably started when it was Squaresoft because it was in development for a really long time.
Yeah, like maybe if Blizzard had released some of their cancelled games, like we'd be having a different conversation. StarCraft Ghost could have been amazing, and it's exactly the kind of game that I play. But yeah, no, like, I mean, Jesus Christ, you're talking about you're talking about like the second, like top 10 like fucking game developer of all time ever in history. Like, I mean, you can't get pissy about that, right? Like, you beat Nintendo.
I think if you look at this, it'll have questions. The biggest ones being from Supergiant Games, would be like, how did we get onto number 5?
It's called personal preference, bitches. Suck it
Yeah.
up. You make great games.
I dare anyone to go out and play any one of their like actually released games and not absolutely love it.
And even then, Hades is probably still fucking bitching. We just haven't played it yet, so we don't want to
Yeah.
speak for it. Here's the final top 10 list. This is the part where you have to read because I have to cover up the microphone.
Okay. So, are we doing this in reverse order? At number 10, we have Crystal Dynamics. Number 9, we have Obsidian. Number 8, we have... This is where it all falls apart because I can't read backwards.
Naughty Dog.
Naughty Dog. Then we have BioWare. Followed by...
We just did this. We just did this. This was like 20 minutes ago. At number 6, we've got Bungie. And at number 5, we've got Supergiant. At number 4, we've got Capcom. And at number 3, we've got Nintendo. At number 2, we've got Blizzard. And at number 1, we've got Squaresoft. And I hope you all heard that.
I'm sorry, but it's been nearly 2 hours.
Look, okay? You had to dig in about Duke Nukem Forever.
No. Bad, Amy. No record.
That's going to do it for this episode of Friendly Debates. Top 10 videos take a long time to make. You know how at the beginning of every episode where I say don't take this list too seriously, because we probably aren't. I think one day we probably shouldn't take the list too seriously. I'm fine with that. Again, like, between the two of us, we definitely would have made a different top 10 list. But that's the magic of Friendly Debates. You never know what's going to happen.
Indeed.
Say bye, Keith.
Bye.